Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to some cheddar cheese, some Gouda, some mozzarella. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In this game, all reason no logic's twig is the cheese.
Hey, cheese wins games. Cheese does wins games. This one's tasty. I'm teaming up with Tank Tom to do a little bit of sneakiness. And you are down south, just making sure that nothing goes wrong down there. So I'm feeling quite comfortable with you guys looking after the
So,
front line.
so, if you watched our loss from 2 weeks ago, then you'll know that Twig said something very important, that there is a certain unit that he reckons is quite strong and quite powerful, and I suspect he's spent the last 2 weeks doing 1v1s just to get this strategy right, because practice makes perfect, they say, and he is doing some streams of those smaller team games. So if you want to check out Twig playing at his best, then definitely do check those ones out. But jumping into this one, as you said, Delta Siege Dry. This is a fantastic map because while it's an 8 versus 8, to a degree it's a 4 versus 4 because of how different the top and the bottom half of the map play, but massively able to swap around. We didn't get the positions we wanted. We'd actually planned to shove all three of us in the top side, but Elden Guard said he had a strat and he wanted to use it, and we can see what that strat is. It is that lower ground bot lab. Haven't seen this one before on Delta Siege Dry, but we'll see how effective it is.
All right.
Now, interesting one about this one. Even though I'm all the way at the back, I'm not a tech player. I'm actually a frontline. Oh god, the tick in our frontline players
That
base.
is devastating.
Oh, positioning is so key. And the fact that he put himself between the wind and that comm, if you can get one unit in and do that, that's some next level stuff. That puts us in a bad spot out of the gate. So hopefully Twig's bit of cheese, his parmigiana, is going to be doing a nice bit of damage here, because that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Twig, tell us what's going on. This is your glory. This is your moment. Or it's a really quick D-gun. So tell us, Twig, D-guns or glory?
I was quite proud of this move, especially once I saw that a bot lab instead of an air lab had been built here. So let's just put a little bit of a track onto that Centurion while we talk about what's happening here. Centurion drops are quite OP if done early enough in the game. You might have seen some other plays out of some other more experienced commanders where you'll see that they can take on commanders 1v1. And I've been practicing like that, like Prey suggested, just keeping the commanders right on the edge. They of course can be hit by the lasers, but out of that D-gun range, the D-gun range a little bit shorter than a laser that comes out of the commander. You can see how much that Centurion does to the commander. Makel's commander is just getting frustrated right now, getting in his head. I'm just focused on this position, especially knowing that there's no air coming my way. I'm not at a risk, even though my base is doing absolutely nothing right now. Yeah, this Centurion.
Let's talk about why this works. The Centurion has a max range of 330, the comm has a max range of 300, the comm has a movement speed of 38, and the Centurion has a movement speed of 45. That means the Centurion has a 30 distance window where they can annihilate a comm. That means that without help, without a surround, without something along those lines, you're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with an early Centurion. And 3 minutes into the base of someone who didn't expect to have to deal with units for a long time is a massive problem. So the correct choice was actually skipping Crab Wizard and going straight into the back line, which is what Twig did. And as you heard him admit, he has been practicing this for weeks just to show off to you guys. So please do give a like and subscribe if you want to reward him for all that effort, or let him know in the comments if he's a dirty, I think blue cheese with all the mold.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. I might have practiced this only once. I gotta say, it wasn't that well practiced, but I have experienced 1v1s before with Centurions, and they definitely can do a lot of damage if thrown in it early. I've also decided, let's skip this play here. They look like they're on the ball. As soon as I saw all those construction turrets, I thought, well, that can just reclaim me quite quickly. So dropping this Centurion up here now and going for the second base. The first base I took, that commander actually left the game. So real mind games. going to our advantage there. And unfortunately, a few pauses there because the team just had to take that player's position, their best player on the team taking that extra commando, which is hopefully going to boost them down in the bottom lane. All the while, this Centurion is still doing a lot of damage. Pow, pow, pow on those labs. That's going to take down a second base, and there is no response coming here. So luckily not the highest OS lobby for us.
The Centurion is 3 stars. It has plus 88% max health. It is an absolute baller of a Centurion.
He's got some damage, this big boy, but with these 4 blitz coming in, that's going to be the end of his road. It's going to be a peaceful grave that he gets to rest in, but I think I do take out 2 of these as well. Finishing that run on, let's just check that out, that is 26, ends up being 28 kills, and as well as all the chain reactions. All right, I've made.
I think we can say you got your money's worth out of him.
Yeah.
The bottom of the map's a bit of a scrapper. As you can see, Chicken Tikka Masala has had their base basically destroyed. The enemy managed to push in with a couple of units and just wipe them. We did a bit of damage behind Mavericko, but nothing to that sort of scale. And the front line right now is just a very, very messy one. No one has many units, and the play of the game right now is essentially we have a 2-player advantage because of that push, which means that all we have to do is hold in the bottom half of the map, and the top half of the map should win. So that's the game plan right now. Really? And to that effect, I'm putting everything I have into Whistlers, because Whistlers, I should be able to get efficient trades basically across the board. I want to push blue, and seeing what I can see now, pushing blue would have been the right call. But I did see FFF was going to do a lot of damage to our cream player, so I decided to bring the Whistlers up. I saw that the only things they really had were Wolverines and some LLTs, which is exactly what Whistlers deal with, and pushing them off the front line would then also help Elden Guard push it back down. Elden Guard, by the way, was the player up against me that kept my focus basically the entire game last game. So glad to have him on our team. But this is just the decision making in the bottom half of the map. There is potential with the amount of reclaim here to go into something like T2, but because our pink player, the Can, is eating a lot of the reclaim, rezzing the comms, that sort of thing, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to get enough to get T2 tactically early enough to make a difference. So I'm just pouring the T1 in and trying to get those efficient trades. Units are trickling in, and we know that Twig is either going to do something with air or transition to T2 or feed us, something along those lines, because he's now freed up. Tank Tom's doing good on the front line. Elden Guard's basically won theirs because one of their players has been spread too thin because of levers on the other team. So this one is just this one was basically how to ensure that we mitigate any chance of a loss from such a strong start.
And Tom just building up an army there. You can see quite a few units. The back lines come on as a result of the early pushes. Brelios going for that T2 now, but sending out a number of units to help Crab Wizards push through Tom's lane. So that's probably our biggest threat up north. Elden is doing quite well. The blue player now taking a 3rd base as well. So a bit more experience there out of Mavericko, defending against Elden Guard, which has now distracted him, giving the chance of Triple F to come back and get back into this game after being pushed so hard, and Tank Tom now being pushed by those 2 armies at once. The Centurions will take a lot of heat, and the Beamer's going to do a lot of damage, but there are just a little bit too many tanks here. At this point in the game, Tom's like, Twig, what are you doing?
Combination
are you going to do anything? What I should have done here is go into a bunch of the Shuriken. The Shuriken would have shot most of or all of this down. I don't see any Whistlers, any Lashes in there. But this is the point at which I think, okay, I've gone into air. I've tried to hit some of these tanks just to do a bit of damage. Tom's saying, stay and help, do damage. And I was just like, nah, you're on your own, mate. You're good enough.
I remember that.
I wanted to win the game, and that's what I'm trying to do with those 9 bombers. And he comms there, so you're going to take these out. Elden Guard's comms there. I did leave him.
Oh god, I just saw the wind and the energy converters mixed in with it.
This is why I was concerned.
Yeah,
they made it in that place was gone.
Look, even if you don't heed the whole like build in rows of two thing, never ever build your conversion right by your wind. Hell, if you want to do something really smart that we learnt from King of the Hill, put them in ones near the front, because small units like grunts try to run past them and then they blow themselves up.
Yeah, so scouted quite a bit of this eco here. I was really lucky as well. The purple player, like, yeah,
They did the same thing.
same
They
thing.
did the same thing.
Bang, 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 bang. All their eco dead. So that's a real moral hit. Right now we got the cream player coming in, arsonist. I think I pinged them to hold back maybe here. No, taking out a bit more eco. I'm just trying to get as much damage across all of these bases as quick as possible with all this air. We've completely freed up. It's the game's as good as ours. We've now had the blue player quit the game because they've realised, yeah, it's over with that bombing run. So the right choice there was to go into the bombers, knowing that their team had no air player on the field, and Prey has just got a phenomenal number of units on the front line now. Just making sure he knows all he needs to do is hold.
One of the things I should have done here, when I got to about 30 whistlers, I should have stopped and T2 transitioned. There's now I'm the only comm on the front line. There's metal here, there's mexes I'm not taking, but the reality is that with that bombing run, you shouldn't do this, you really shouldn't, but I'm mostly checked out of the game. I'm just microing my whistlers and having a good old time.
It was a cheesy game, but it paid off. That extra medal that Tom threw towards me, I never paid him for that Centurion either. I really just leave you out to dry, don't you, Tom? It's a common theme. I'm a greedy player. I know it, but sometimes greed pays off, and in this game it did.
And it does look like that is going to be the end of the match. So this one I would not call this representative of most games in your road to OS 30, but something which I think is really, really important to say: you do need to have fun with the game. You really do need to have fun with the game. And so sometimes, even if it doesn't guarantee a win, as long as you can do an attack like that without being detrimental to your team, because it is a team game, then very much so, go your hardest, try the fun stuff, play in non-ranked lobbies and do all the fun stuff.
I just want to point out quickly in that graph, that's all one unit right there. Half of the damage dealt by, like, that was to that point there. That's all Centurion.
I still beat you.
You did. You got more damage than me with your 3,000 whistlers versus my one Centurion.
Also, I just want to point out how much damage Tom did between what looks like 8 minutes and 9.5 minutes. Just zoop.
That's because I left him all the units to kill by himself. I just didn't want to help him so that he could get some
Did
score on
fund
the
my
scoreboard.
T2, which was nice.
So, a bit of a fun one here, guys. A little bit of stuff to learn. Basically taking a role to mitigate a loss and to win. If you have something like that happen in a game, change up your game plan to guarantee the win. That's what I did. That's what Tank Tom did. Twig was just greedy and having fun that whole game.
Yeah, and also,
but
if a Centurion
hey, our OS had
like
already
that,
dropped, which meant that we were in slightly easier lobbies, so maybe that was the reason he could get away with it.
Yeah, most of us in our 20s in this game. And if someone drops a single Centurion like that against your commander, build an LLT so you got something to fall back to. It shouldn't be that easy to micro around a single commander, but that is the answer if you've got no units out. All right, guys.
And on that note, thanks for joining us, and we will catch you in the next one.
See ya.